Ay, collecting rings like a Sonic. Bitches wanna party. My wrist getting heavy. Got 'em on a diet, yeah. Flex like I'm Hogan. Yo, be coming over.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tylearn, and yeah, you guys saw it. Yeah, the intro already started. Yeah, we're just gonna get right into this what if. The only thing I'm gonna be saying is a quick disclaimer, which is that Naruto's poison manipulation is not going to be the same as that one guy who fought Neji, or not Neji, Shino in that one filler, you know, that Donzo goon. Yeah, it's not gonna be like that kind of poison. It's kind of gonna be like how Fugo uses it, but he can actually like manipulate the poison, if that makes sense. Like, instead of just having like poisoned fist or whatever and just like punching things, yeah, he could actually just like manipulate the poison and whatnot, and he's not going to be affected by his own poison, because that would be fucking lame. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's just the disclaimer. We can now get into the what if. Now, we are now going to be getting into the background information, which is essentially before part 1 or episode 1 of Naruto begins, which is, you know, the whole Minato stuff, which I'm going to be saying here for the sake of simplicity. The poison manipulation and the way Naruto gets it is from the Namikaze clan, where Minato is from. We'll just say Minato has all these powers. He can manipulate poison, have poison clouded fists, could even manipulate the clouds around his fists and make, you know, projectile poison clouds and whatnot. You know, this ability is just, you know, kind of broken because it does ignore conventional durability, and no matter how durable you are, poison is obviously just gonna neg you. Not to mention, with this kind of power and the potential it kind of has, I think it could be really beneficial for Naruto in this story and could maybe make it unique. And with that being said, we'll just say Minato has this Kekkei Genkai or whatnot in the Namikaze clan, where he is able to manipulate poison, and this would then be passed down to Naruto. And I think a cool way to kind of incorporate poison with Minato is essentially just, he doesn't really use it until like a last resort or whatnot, and he just kind of poison clouds his kunai where he uses flying Raijin, and the second it tags his opponent, you know, they're going to be instantly dead because the poison is enhanced with the kunai. And with that being said, Naruto would still be born and obviously still be a loser and eventually would want to become Hokage, but early on in his life he would discover these poison powers. We'll say Naruto first discovers it when a family basically runs away from him when he's just sitting on the swing, and a kid is actually trying to go up to him, and the parent just, you know, grabs the kid and runs away and saying not to go near that freak. Naruto then looks at his hands and questions to himself what's wrong with him, and all these emotions are contemplating in his head, and this would then accidentally allow Naruto to trigger his poison. A toxic cloud aura would form around Naruto's hands, and as soon as a bird goes near Naruto, Naruto would try and touch the bird, where he manages to barely touch it, and as the bird tries to fly away, the bird would then die right in front of Naruto's eyes. At that point, it would be kind of like how Fugo, when he interacts with the bird, and JoJo's, you know, the bird just like fucking collapses and like discombobulates completely, which Naruto is just completely shocked by because he had no idea he was capable of this. This would then lead Naruto into a lot more darker thoughts, just contemplating on how is he gonna really just live in this world as a normal person. Everyone thinks he's a freak, and now he has these freak powers. What is he going to do? This would then lead into Naruto obviously getting his whole motivation on becoming Hokage and proving everybody wrong, but this time it would happen a lot earlier, considering the fact that poison and, you know, being called the freak doesn't really mix well, so Naruto would probably come to this conclusion a lot earlier in his life, way before he even attends the academy. Now, I believe here, because of Naruto's lack of chakra control, he wouldn't be able to really control this power, and so all he could really do at best is summon the poison aura around his hands, which goes very crazy, and he can barely control. So he decides to kind of forbid using this unless absolutely necessary and there's a threat. And there are definitely a couple of scenarios in Naruto's life where people would pick on him, and he would be kind of contemplating to use the poison, but he knows better than to do so, so he's not going to do it. And here, I don't think Naruto would be pulling pranks or be the type to be pulling pranks, because he needs to more so get in control with his power. So he doesn't really have time for that kind of stuff and isn't going to really be wanting attention like that, because he knows nobody really wants anything to do with him, but he doesn't care. And so, with that being said, we would still get Mitsuki coming in and manipulating Naruto to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which would still happen, but Naruto is a lot more desperate to kind of do this because he wants friends, so, you know, any interaction with people at this point other than Naruto is something that he's not going to try and, like, you know, pass off. Naruto is someone who is going to try and think that Mitsuki is his friend, and when he comes to the harsh reality that Mitsuki doesn't really want anything to do with him and just kind of used him to steal the scroll, and him nearly killing Iruka, the one friend Naruto had. Now, with this happening, Naruto would use the one ability he promised himself not to use, and then poison fog would start forming around his hands. Naruto would then rush at Mitsuki with all he's got, and Mitsuki knows this kind of power because he's heard of it. He's heard of the Namikaze's sacred poison, Kekkei Genkai, and he's kind of terrified. At that point, Naruto would then rush, and with one touch, Mitsuki is dead. Now, at that point, Iruka is at a loss for words, and when Naruto gets rid of the poison on his hands and he tells Iruka that he's sorry and he didn't mean to do that and didn't really mean for Iruka to see that, Iruka forgives him, and he honestly just thanks Naruto for saving his life. And at that point, he would then graduate him from the academy, and Naruto would then join Team 7. Honestly, I could see the moment between Iruka and Naruto being a lot more heartwarming, considering the fact that Naruto is a lot more of a loser, or thinks he's a lot more of a loser in this timeline. And Iruka would try and comfort Naruto and make sure that he knows that he isn't one, even with this freak power of his. Anyways, we would move into the next day where Naruto would then meet up in the class, and him along with Sasuke and Sakura would be formed and known as Team 7. And this would then lead into them meeting Kakashi and them then taking the bell test. Now here, I could see really no changes happening, considering the fact that Naruto's definitely not going to try and use poison on someone who's his instructor, who would, instantly die. And plus, even if he did use it, he believes hypothetically Kakashi would just dodge all of his attacks. So it's really pointless. At that point, Naruto would be inevitably defeated along with Sasuke and Sakura, and the whole scenario of them using teamwork to actually feed Naruto would then allow them to pass, and we would then get the 1 month training gap between after the bell test and before the Land of Waves, which I'm going to say here, things definitely do change. Now, the first thing I'm going to be saying that changes is definitely Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura's physical stats. And what I mean by that is Kakashi is actually going to be teaching them chakra control a lot earlier, considering the fact that Naruto would be telling Kakashi about this ability he has, but he couldn't show it to Kakashi because, one, that would be very dangerous towards him and it would be risky, and it wouldn't really matter anyway because Kakashi could dodge it. But the point is Naruto can't really control this ability, and he's wondering if he could maybe get trained to maybe control it. Kakashi would be down to help Naruto, and while he's helping him try and control his powers or his chakra to try and use his powers, he would also be teaching this towards Sakura and Sasuke, meaning by the time the Land of Waves rolls around, Team 7 would already know how to water walk and tree walk. Sasuke is very near unlocking his Sharingan, but he just needs that extra push to unlock it once again, and this would then lead into them heading to the Land of Waves and actually doing that whole Tazuna mission. And I'm going to say here, Naruto doesn't really need to get poisoned here, and hypothetically he could probably resist it because he can't get poisoned by his own poison. That's giving the Demon Brothers the benefit of the doubt, considering the fact that Naruto is much stronger and faster in this timeline, so he could just easily evade them and body him. But even if he was to be poisoned, he would just resist it. So there's no, epic kunai speech here. Izabuza still posts up, and we get Izabuza versus Kakashi, where Kakashi would end up being trapped, and Team 7 would still come up with the Demon Wind Shuriken plan, but this time Naruto's going to add poison to the Demon Wind Blade. Now, here, I'm going to say Izabuza does manage to, dodge the attack and actually grab the Demon Wind Shuriken with his bare hands. And the second he grabs the blade is the second where he is now intoxicated with poison. He would then take a few steps back, releasing Kakashi from the water prison, and at that point, Izabuza would then die. Now, I know some of you are going to get very mad and be like, "Ah, Naruto beat Izabuza as a genin!" You guys have to understand, Naruto has poison which ignores your durability, so no matter how durable you are, if you get tagged by this poison, you're done, unless you're hypothetically reanimated. And I'm going to say here that, Naruto literally scraps with Jonin people all the fucking time, and Naruto's just a kid. You guys are just hating, shut up. Anyways, we would get Kakashi collapsing and everyone heading to Tazuna's house, and when Haku comes to try and, save Zabuza and sees him dead, he would just kind of give up his whole mission, and he doesn't really have a purpose anymore, so he's going to go and try and find a purpose, and so he leaves the mist and leaves everything entirely and becomes a rogue ninja. And as a way to remember him, he would be carrying Zabuza's sword and would learn the ways of the 7 ninja swordsmen, on his own. He wouldn't, join the 7 ninja swordsmen. It's kind of dumb. but he would be taking the Executioner's blade with him, and he would learn how to use it on his own and in his own way. And so with that being said, that's gonna be concluding, Haku's whole arc, which means there's no real villain besides Gato, and when we get to the bridge site and Gato's men appears, Gato's men are literally going to be getting raffle stomped by Team 7, and that's not even taking into account Naruto's poison. So yeah, if Team 7 doesn't instantly kill Gato's men, then Naruto's poison definitely will. And so with that being said, there's no real big threat for the Land of Waves at the end, so this means no Sharingan reveal from Sasuke, no Kurama reveal from Naruto. All this stuff doesn't really happen, and the ending for this arc is a lot nicer and not nearly as devastating. And so with that being said, the bridge would be named after Naruto, the Great Naruto Bridge, and this is where I'm going to be leaving part 1 off for now and concluding the Land of Waves. And in part 2, we will be going over what would happen in the Chunin exams, or what would be happening in part 2 of What If Naruto Had Poison Release. Rah! Now with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And, if you are new, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you are notified and updated every time I upload. Hit the Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Look in the description. Hit the Twitter link. Hit the Discord link. Join the Discord. We're going to be doing a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure tourney, a debate tourney. Go join up. And with that being said, love y'all. Peace out. Bye.